Today, we are digging into something everyone wants, right? Confidence.
Yeah.
But it often feels like it's just frustratingly out of reach. We see people who just seem so assured, maybe leading a meeting or walking into a party, tackling some big project.
Yeah.
And we kind of think, oh, they must have some secret. Like they were just born that way.
And that idea, that fundamental belief that confidence is just fixed, something you either have or you don't.
Right.
That's exactly what the research we've looked at today just completely flips on its head. It's pretty clear from, mindset science, applied psychology. Confidence isn't a gift, it's a skill.
A skill. Okay.
Yeah, an active learnable skill. Something you actually build, step by deliberate step.
Okay, that's the core idea then.
Yeah.
And it's really liberating, isn't it? Because if you, listening right now, feel shy, maybe nervous, unsure about, say, a career move or just putting yourself out there, that feeling it's not the final word. It's just where you are right now in the confidence building process.
Exactly. It's a starting point, not a destination.
Right. And the tools to grow are there for everyone.
Yeah.
So our mission today is basically to hand you the manual. Yeah.
That's the plan. And to really get how we move from feeling uncertain to, feeling more assured, we need a framework. And the best analogy, I think, from the source material, the one that's going to guide us, is that confidence is like a muscle.
Oh, I like that. The muscle analogy. It just cuts through the fluff, doesn't it?
It is.
Because a muscle doesn't grow just by wishing it or, thinking positive thoughts.
Nope. Needs work.
It needs use, it needs resistance, and maybe most importantly, consistency. So the implication for building belief in yourself is pretty obvious. The more you use that confidence muscle, the more you deliberately step into things that stretch you a bit.
Right. Push the edge.
The stronger it gets.
Yeah.
Faster, more reliable over time. You can't get stronger just by, looking at a gym membership card. You got to do the reps.
Precisely. And if we run with that metaphor, our job here is to kind of unpack the specific workout routine that the source material lays out for us.
Right.
It gives us 5 core, really actionable daily ways anyone can start using to strengthen this psychological muscle. We're going way beyond just saying, be more confident.
And that's useless advice on its own.
Totally. We're getting into the how, the actual mechanics of building sustainable self-trust.
Okay, let's get into this workout routine then. Where do we start, it sounds like?
Yeah.
Deep inside, your own psychology.
That's right. All lasting change really starts there. Building that internal trust means changing some fundamental things about, how you talk to yourself and, critically, how you deal with setbacks.
Okay, so let's start with that.
Yeah.
That voice in our heads, right? The internal critic. That little annoyance that just defaults to negativity.
Ugh, yeah. The I'm not good enough voice.
Exactly. Or, I know I'm going to mess this up. They'll think I'm an idiot. Yeah. That kind of stuff.
It's so common. It's actually, a sort of old defense mechanism. Evolutionary psych tells us it's meant to keep us safe, avoid risks.
Makes sense from that perspective.
Yeah, but in modern life, it's actively working against building confidence. Our source makes a big point that this internal voice is basically programming our results, often before we even try anything.
Oh, programming our results.
Yeah. So the key move here, the first big step, is realizing that confidence doesn't just start with doing stuff externally. It starts with how you talk to yourself.
Okay, and the source material put it really strongly, didn't it? Something like, your words shape your reality. That sounds huge, like more than just a nice quote.
Oh, it's massive. It's a core psychological claim. It's saying the language you use inside your head habitually isn't just describing how you feel now.
Right.
It's actively predicting and even prescribing what you'll be capable of later.
Whoa. So it's not just feeling good. It's like cognitive restructuring. You mentioned confirmation bias too.
Exactly. When you keep using limiting language, I'm always awful at this, you're essentially giving your subconscious a command.
Okay.
And your brain It wants to be efficient, consistent, right? So it starts looking for evidence that supports that negative command. It literally filters your perception.
So you start seeing proof everywhere that you can't do it.
You got it. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy because your focus is it's skewed. And that's why the source pushes so hard for strategic language replacement.
Okay, let's get practical then. What are these swaps? They sound like something we can actually do right away. Like instead of, I can't do this really complex task.
Right. Instead of that hard stop, that fixed statement, the source says shift to something process-focused. I'm learning.
I'm learning. Okay, that feels different.
It's a seismic shift, really. I can't suggest it's permanent. You lack the ability. End of story.
Yeah, very final.
But I'm learning. That acknowledges, yeah, maybe you haven't mastered it yet. But the focus is on the effort, the process, the future possibility.
Right, it opens a door.
Exactly. When you tell yourself, I'm learning, your brain stops hunting for proof of inability and starts, dedicating resources to actually figuring it out. Mistakes become less personal, less charged. They're just data.
Data points on the learning curve. I like that. Okay, and the second big swap, it was about identity, right? Moving away from, I'm not confident.
Yeah, that negative static label. Instead, define yourself by the dynamic process. I'm becoming more confident.
Becoming, that word feels important.
It's the key. It subtly, but really powerfully reprograms things. When you set becoming more confident as your current direction, you're giving your internal GPS, like a destination.
Okay.
You're telling your mind, okay, start looking for the small proofs that support this journey, that little success, that time you spoke up, the moment you held your posture.
So you start noticing those things instead.
Right. Whereas if you just label yourself unconfident, your brain is constantly scanning for evidence that proves that label right. It reinforces the negative identity. Focusing on progress is the genius here. It means you can have a setback without your whole identity collapsing.
Okay, but here's the challenge I think listeners might have. Doesn't it feel a bit fake at first? Yeah. Like you're just forcing yourself to say things you don't really believe. How do you bridge that gap between hearing that loud inner critic and actually buying into this growth language?
That's a really important question. And yeah, it does feel inauthentic sometimes initially because those old negative thought patterns, those neural pathways are worn deep from years of use.
Right, they're like grooves.
Exactly. But here's the thing. You don't actually have to fully believe the new statement right away. You just need to act on it. Start saying it.
So action first.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Cognitive behavioral science shows us that if you consistently use the language of growth, even when you feel shaky, the feeling, the reality of it, eventually starts to catch up. You're just building a new, healthier habit.
Like carving a new groove.
Precisely. The goal isn't to silence the inner critic completely. Maybe that's impossible, but to give it less airtime, a smaller role in the conversation inside your head.
Okay, so pillar one is actively managing our internal script. But, even with the best self-talk, stuff happens. You try and you mess up. What happens then when effort meets mistake? Hashtag B. Leveraging mistakes as lessons. Source point 5.
Yes. This is where we really test that resilience muscle. And honestly, this might be the hardest part of confidence for many people. Because mistakes trigger those deep, visceral feelings, shame, inadequacy.
Oh yeah, your stomach just drops.
Totally. But the source material is really firm on this. We have to embrace a fundamental truth. Confident people don't succeed because they magically avoid mistakes.
Right, that seems impossible.
It is. They succeed because they treat mistakes as necessary learning opportunities, essential data points.
But our gut reaction is often the opposite, isn't it? We see a mistake as proof that the inner critic was right all along. See? Told you weren't good enough.
Exactly that. And the source says, no, you have to redefine failure. Every mistake is just information. It's a lesson. It's not who you are.
So separating the event from the identity.
Critically important. We need a clear distinction, definitionally, between a mistake and failure as like a final state. A mistake, that's a single action, maybe a poor strategy choice. A failure, the way we often feel it, is like game over, the final verdict.
Okay.
Confident people get that the road to getting good at anything is messy. It's paved with these things we call mistakes. Honestly, if you're not making mistakes, you're probably playing it way too safe.
You're staying in the comfort zone.
Exactly. You're not pushing your boundaries, not actually growing your capabilities.
Okay, so when it happens, say, a presentation bombs, where you say the wrong thing in a meeting, something public maybe, the emotional hit, the embarrassment, the anxiety, it feels overwhelming. How do you actually do the reframing in that moment? Perform that mental judo flip the source mentioned.
Right. That flip is key because it pulls your brain out of that emotional shame spiral.
Yeah, that spiral is fast.
And pushes it into analytical problem-solving mode. Okay, let's walk through it. Imagine you just gave that presentation and it didn't go well.
Okay, feeling awful.
Step 1, acknowledge the sting. Don't try to suppress feeling disappointed or embarrassed. Let yourself feel it for a second. It validates the experience.
Okay, don't fight the feeling itself.
Right. Step 2, cognitive separation. Deliberately, consciously separate the action from your identity. Instead of thinking, I'm a terrible presenter, you force yourself to rephrase. That presentation strategy didn't land effectively, or that approach wasn't the right one. See the difference?
Yeah, it's about the what, not the who.
Precisely. You're separating the outcome from your fundamental worth. And then, step 3, the crucial part, the post-mistake question. This becomes your immediate focus.
Which is?
Immediately ask yourself, what can I learn from this? What specific information does this give me about what not to do next time?
Okay, so you shift instantly to analysis.
Instantly. That simple question forces your brain to look at the data objectively. Was it the prep, the audience, delivery speed, too much jargon? It turns that high emotion moment into a kind of low stakes research project.
Research project, I like that. Takes the sting out.
It does. And that shift from blaming yourself emotionally to analyzing objectively, that's how real confidence gets built. It's resilience practice. It's like the psychological version of having a spotter in the gym. They help you fail safely on a lift so you can learn from it, adjust, and try again stronger next time.
So tying it back to the muscle, avoiding mistakes is like refusing to lift heavier weights because you might drop them.
Exactly. You're skipping the resistance. You're avoiding the very thing needed for growth. And this resilience, it definitely takes patience, which actually leads us right into the next bit, the practical stuff. How do we generate that positive feeling, that self-regard through actual action and small wins?
Right. So we've got the internal stuff sorted, self-talk, resilience, but confidence needs proof, doesn't it? Real-world evidence.
Yeah.
And that comes from actually doing things, moving forward.
Absolutely. Confidence isn't just an internal state. It's fueled by action. And the first strategy here directly tackles that feeling of being paralyzed by perfectionism or just overwhelm.
Yeah, where do you even start if the goal feels huge?
Exactly. The core advice is simple but powerful. Don't try to do everything at once. So often when people decide, right, I'm going to boost my confidence, they set these massive, intimidating goals. Launch a company, run a marathon next month.
Yeah, setting yourself up for failure almost.
Pretty much. Failure feels inevitable, and then you conclude, see? This confidence stuff is too hard.
We really need to respect the psychology of overwhelm then. If the goal is too big, your brain just slams on the brakes, procrastination kicks in.
Totally. Which is why setting achievable small goals is so crucial. It's about engineering early, consistent success. That success is like high-octane fuel for the confidence engine.
Okay, so it's not just about ticking boxes. There's something deeper happening, like in the brain.
Oh, yeah. We need to look at the neuroscience here. It's about tapping into the brain's reward system. When you complete a goal, even a tiny one, maybe cleaning your workspace, finally sending that difficult email,
Okay.
you trigger a positive feedback loop. Your brain releases a little bit of dopamine.
Dopamine. So you get a literal chemical reward, a feel-good hit. just from finishing something small.
You got it. And dopamine isn't just about pleasure. It's crucial for motivation, for predicting future rewards. That little hit acts as a tangible boost of energy, just like the source says.
Okay. Wow.
And that initial burst of good feeling, that internal proof, hey, I did that, it builds psychological momentum. It makes tackling the next small goal feel easier.
Right, it starts to build on itself.
Exactly. It's the compounding effect of success. Small win today makes tomorrow's small win easier. Pretty soon, you're knocking down things you thought were impossible before. Think of it like a tiny snowball rolling downhill.
It picks up speed and size.
Exactly. Accumulates mass and momentum.
So what we're doing here is intentionally creating evidence. Evidence that contradicts that nagging inner critic story.
Perfectly put. You're generating proof points. So what do these small wins actually look like for someone maybe struggling with motivation day to day?
Yeah, it gives us some concrete examples.
Okay, they're often delightfully specific, sometimes even mundane. That's their power. The source mentions things that need immediate discipline, execution, like maybe waking up just 10 minutes earlier than usual and actually doing it.
Okay. Simple, but requires effort.
Right. Or finally finishing that one annoying task you've been putting off for ages. We all have those.
Oh, yeah.
For someone learning a language, maybe just writing down and saying one new sentence out loud. For procrastinator, maybe just starting that daunting project, but only committing to work on it for, say, 15 minutes. Just start.
So the specific thing matters less than the act of finishing it. Completing the loop.
That's the key. It reinforces the idea that every small success counts. It's additive. If you manage 5 small wins today, you've just given your brain 5 new pieces of data confirming, okay, I'm someone who can set goals and achieve them.
You're building a case file.
Exactly. You're gathering undeniable evidence for the defense against the prosecution of your inner critic.
I like that analogy, building the case. Okay.
And that evidence, it's all about momentum, building internal credibility. Real, lasting confidence is rarely built in one giant leap. It's the result of continuous, measurable progress. Which brings us nicely to the next point, the importance of active, ongoing growth. #B. The confidence of continuous improvement. Source point 4.
All right, this makes sense with the muscle analogy, too. If you don't keep challenging the muscle, exercising it, it just
Stagnates.
right, gets weaker.
Exactly. It atrophies.
And the source puts it bluntly, confidence comes from knowing you're growing.
Yeah.
It's not just that confident people happen to improve themselves. It's suggesting that self-improvement is actually the source of the belief.
Let's unpack why that is.
Yeah.
Why is self-improvement inherently belief-inducing? Well, think about it. When you learn something new, acquire a new skill, you've literally expanded your capacity.
You're objectively more capable.
Objectively more capable, more resilient, more adaptable. You can handle more of what the world throws at you. This naturally reduces anxiety about the unknown because you're constantly adding tools to your mental toolbox.
So you trade fear for certainty in your ability to learn.
Precisely. Certainty in your own learning capacity. And the great thing is, the methods suggested don't require some massive commitment like going back to school for years.
Yeah, it's not about getting another degree necessarily.
Not at all. It's about daily active learning, small doses.
Okay, quick what?
Could be reading something new every day, even just a chapter of a nonfiction book that challenges you a bit. Could be listening critically to informative stuff like this deep dive. Stuff aimed at expanding your understanding.
Right.
Or learning a skill, even a tiny one, mastering a new recipe, figuring out one advanced function in Excel that saves you time, learning one new knot, or a basic command in some software. The scale isn't the point.
It's the dedication to the process of learning.
Exactly. It's the commitment to growth.
This sounds a lot like operationalizing Carol Dweck's growth mindset idea.
It absolutely is. When you're constantly learning, you're signaling to your brain again and again, I'm flexible, I'm growing, I'm not stuck. And that mindset shift, It's an incredibly powerful catalyst for belief in yourself.
Because the opposite is stagnation.
Right. Stagnation breeds insecurity. You feel your limitations staying put while the world keeps changing, getting more complex. That's scary.
Yeah.
But growth breeds confidence because you have daily objective proof that you can adapt, you can increase your value, your capability. Just the act of exercising your brain provides undeniable internal evidence. I'm smart enough, I can figure things out.
Okay, so we've covered the internal script, handling mistakes, generating momentum through small wins, and continuous learning. That's a lot of internal work.
It is. It's the foundation.
But confidence isn't just internal, is it? It plays out socially. The second we walk into a room, we're sending signals, even before we say anything. Which brings us to, the third pillar? The external stuff. Body language.
Precisely. The external presentation and how it feeds back internally.
This is where it gets interesting, maybe a bit counterintuitive. The idea that just changing how you stand can change how you feel or think.
Yeah, it sounds a bit backward, but the source material is really emphatic about this physical feedback loop. ####A. The silent communication. Source point 3. And one of the most striking insights here is your body talks before you even open your mouth. We spend so much time worrying about the perfect words.
Right, crafting that email or presentation.
But research on nonverbal communication is clear. Your posture, how you walk, how much space you take up it, communicates trust, status, your emotional state instantly, and often unconsciously.
And the source mentioned the tough reality that people make instant judgments based just on posture, like slumped shoulders, looking down, making yourself small. It signals insecurity, low status internally, even if you're actually super competent.
And that projection kicks off a really nasty feedback loop, a vicious cycle. If you walk into that meeting looking unsure, maybe physically closed off, people subconsciously read that as low confidence, maybe low competence. So they might interact with you differently. Maybe they ignore your idea or talk over you more easily. And that external reaction, basically validating your perceived low status, it then reinforces your internal feeling of low confidence. And round it goes.
Okay, so we have to break that cycle physically.
We have to interrupt it physically.
So what's the fix? What are the immediate, actionable, physical things that the source recommends? The quick adjustments that signal confidence not just to others, but back to ourselves.
It boils down to 4 really simple physical changes. Anyone can do these right now. Stand tall, look up, relax your shoulders, and smile.
Okay, stand tall, look up, relax shoulders, smile. Simple.
Deceptively simple. These aren't just about looking polite or pleasant. They are the physical configurations that actually help create a confident psychological state.
Okay, here comes the skeptic again. Isn't this the ultimate fake it till you make it? If I'm genuinely nervous inside, forcing a smile or standing tall feels, fake. Disingenuous. How does that connect to real confidence?
But that's exactly the right question to ask. It feels superficial. But we're not just talking about appearances. We're talking about the mechanism of embodied cognition.
Embodied cognition. Okay, tell me more.
You're not really faking an external reality so much as you are using your external reality or body to alter your internal biology, your internal state. ###B, the mind-body connection.
Altering internal biology. How?
This is where the science gets really cool. The source material basically claims when you act confident, your brain actually starts to feel confident too. It's a two-way street. When you adopt a confident posture, standing tall, chest open, taking up a bit more space, you are triggering immediate chemical and hormonal shifts inside your body, specifically around stress and assertiveness.
Okay, chemicals, hormones. Let's get specific. Why does standing differently matter at that level?
It matters hugely, especially in social situations. Research has shown that adopting these confident poses, sometimes called power poses,
Right, I've heard of those.
they can actually lead to a decrease in circulating cortisol, That's the main stress hormone, right? Linked to fight or flight, anxiety, risk aversion.
So less cortisol means less feeling stressed or panicked.
Exactly. Your body gets the signal, okay, the environment is relatively safe, the background noise of anxiety dials down, and at the same time, these poses can sometimes lead to a slight increase in testosterone.
Okay, and testosterone is linked to.
Feelings of power, assertiveness, more willingness to take calculated risks, more approach-oriented behavior.
Whoa. Okay, so just by changing how I stand, I could literally be lowering my internal stress breaks the cortisol and maybe gently pressing the accelerator of the testosterone, preparing myself chemically for assertive action.
That's a great way to put it. Precisely. When you stand tall, shoulders back, maybe a slight smile, you're sending signals back up to the emotion centers in your brain that say, essentially, I'm okay. I'm in control here.
So the external action triggers the internal feeling.
It kickstarts it. You don't wait until you feel confident to stand tall. You deliberately stand tall in order to help yourself feel confident. It's a powerful shortcut, a biohack almost, especially useful when you're feeling acutely nervous, like right before walking into something important.
Okay, the practical application is immediate then. The next time you, the listener, have to enter any space, a meeting room, a virtual call screen, even just walking up to a group of people at an event.
You have an instant tool. The advice boils down to internalizing this kind of mantra. Walk in like you belong there, because you do.
I like that. Walk in like you belong there.
Yeah, it removes that need to wait for permission or external validation. By adopting the physical posture of belonging, you internally validate your own right to be there. And you immediately project a presence that makes it less likely others will subconsciously challenge your space or competence. It sets off a positive feedback loop powered by your own deliberate body language. It's surprisingly fast and effective. #, V, conclusion, and provocative thought.
Okay, wow. We've covered a lot of ground. We went from the deep internal dialogue, mindset resilience, through momentum, growth, all the way out to body language and this biofeedback loop.
Yeah.
5 pillars. So what's the big takeaway? What does this whole integrated strategy really mean for someone listening?
I think the core truth weaving through all 5 points is this. Confidence isn't really about being perfect or never making mistakes. That's impossible, right?
Yeah, total fantasy.
Confidence fundamentally is about trusting yourself, trusting your process, trusting your ability to learn, trusting you can handle a mistake and recover, trusting your commitment to just show up, even when things aren't perfect, especially when they aren't perfect.
Trusting yourself even when imperfect. Okay. Let's quickly run through those 5 pillars again just to lock them in, because it feels like they work together, their power is combined.
Definitely. So first, we had the action part, overcoming that overwhelm. Start small, win small. Build momentum with tiny, achievable goals.
Right. Get that dopamine hit.
Exactly. Second, the psychological foundation, reframing your reality. Speak kindly to yourself. Swap that limiting language for growth language. Manage the inner critic.
Okay. Third, the instant physical boost, the biofeedback. Stand tall. Use your posture to signal safety and confidence back to your brain.
Fourth, the engine of objective proof. Keep learning. Continuous self-improvement provides the hard evidence of your growing capability.
Makes sense. And fifth,
Maybe the most crucial for forward movement, the resilience engine. Don't fear mistakes, reframe them instantly. See them as essential lessons, data for progress. That's the full routine, really. A manual for building that confidence muscle.
it feels manageable, broken down like that. So to everyone listening, you've got this. Seriously. The tools aren't secret or complicated. They're simple. They're accessible. They just need, well, consistency, dedication to the process, not some magic talent you lack. Maybe just start today with one thing. Pick one. Maybe just monitor your self-talk for the next hour. Or maybe just consciously relax your shoulders and lift your gaze the next time you walk into a room. Start small, win small.
And as we wrap up, we wanted to leave you with one final thought. Something a bit provocative, maybe, building on that whole idea of mistakes and learning being the fuel for confidence.
Okay, I'll wait on this.
Well, if that confidence muscle truly only gets stronger through the resistance of challenge and
Right.
through analyzing mistakes, what's the real cost, the hidden cost? When we actively avoid situations, big ones, small ones,
Hmm.
just because we want to preserve an image of being flawless, of being
Hmm.
perfect.
Ooh. What's the cost of avoiding the workout, basically?
Yeah, think about it. If you don't apply for that challenging job, if you don't speak up in that meeting with your idea, if you refuse to try a new skill because you might look foolish or make a mistake.
You feel safer in the moment.
Safer in the moment, yes, but you're essentially sacrificing your long-term confidence growth for the short-term comfort of protecting your ego.
Avoiding failure becomes avoiding the only exercise that actually builds the confidence muscle.
That's it right there. That avoidance might be the single biggest barrier to building real, lasting self-belief.
Wow. Okay, lots to think about there. Hopefully, this deep dive into the 5 pillars gives you both the motivation and, crucially, the specific tools you need to start building that muscle starting today.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive.
We'll see you next time.